We're only about a month away from the first presidential debates on the Democratic side, and there's already 2020 fatigue. It was maybe inevitable that with such a large field of candidates, and obviously this media pressure to anoint somebody to be the challenger to Donald Trump, that people would just lose their enthusiasm so fast. And this is from The Ringer, and it says, it's too late to complain about the number of Democratic presidential candidates. It's too late to complain about their early timing. They've all got their immodest reasons for seeking the nomination, and the competitive overcrowding has forced so many candidates to launch their campaigns so preposterously early. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren went first, launching hers on New Year's Eve. For a few months, she formed her, quote, exploratory committee. Warren struggled in polling comparisons with former Vice President Joe Biden, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, and former Representative Beto O'Rourke, who didn't even declare their respective candidacies until spring. O'Rourke, in particular, suffered some anxiety about whether he waited too long to declare his presidential candidacy. And by too long, the pundits meant mid-March. For whatever it's worth, Biden waited until late April to launch his presidential campaign, and he's now leading everyone else by double digits. South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg launched his presidential campaign a month after O'Rourke, and then ate O'Rourke's lunch. So that's a funny thing, because when you consider how much media attention O'Rourke gained during the Senate race last year, it's almost unbelievable how Pete Buttigieg, who's just this mayor from the middle of Indiana, has completely overtaken him. And I think that they're trying to basically use a defibrillator to clear to revive O'Rourke's campaign, because it just isn't going. They just had a town hall with him on CNN, and I saw all of this positive coverage, which, by the way, they used the same paragraph for the introduction. You can look at the first paragraphs here. It says, Beto O'Rourke has taken questions from the crowds at nearly all of his more than 150 events as a presidential candidate, and in his CNN town hall Tuesday night, it showed. If you see this Politico article, it says the same thing. Beto O'Rourke has held more than 150 town halls since announcing his presidential campaign. On Tuesday, it showed. So what's wrong with these magazines and these networks, that they're so obsessed with reviving the campaign of some guy who is just one more of a slew of candidates? I happen to think that we're living in an era where the media isn't really here to hold to account politicians to actually do what they were elected to do. In Beto's case, he wasn't elected to do anything, so they're pumping him up. What they're also doing with candidates who are elected to office, they're coddling them and letting them waste the rest of the public's time. And I want you to take a look right here. This is the field of presidential candidates. You have all these people, sitting senators, Michael Bennet, Cory Booker. You have down there, you have Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. All those are senators. They're sitting senators that are, what is this, 8 people out of the 100 that are elected to the Senate? And they're always on the campaign trail just pretending that they're trying to change the country. Why couldn't they come up with the best among them, and that would be their representative? But no, we have effectively 8% of the Senate running for president because they don't think that it's enough that they get elected to a 6-year term to determine our laws, to nominate our judges, or to confirm our judges, to confirm cabinet level officials. They don't think it's important enough, and they're that ego obsessed that they're all running for president. I think one of them would have been enough. It doesn't matter which one, because frankly, the majority of them don't really have anything that makes them unique. They all pick one policy that they pay lip service to, and that's supposedly going to make them the candidate of choice. On top of that, you have interviews like this one on CNN where candidates could not be getting easier questions, and somehow they prove just how out of touch with the rest of society they are.
We have a little fun kicker that we like to do with all of the presidential candidates that come on New Day. Okay. It's called Candidate Mixtape. That was the musical sting for it.
So I don't see why anybody would care what any of these candidates' favorite song is.
And we like to talk a lot about music here on this program. So
yes, I've seen so many times that New Day wants to talk about music. It's really what type of idiot really believes that they care about any of these people's tastes?
What is your favorite musical genre?
Oh, I mean, I'm hip hop and reggae and jazz. Those are.
Oh, look at me! I will pick all of the standard Afro-American / Afro-Caribbean categories.
Some of my favorites.
Okay. Do you have a favorite band or a favorite musician?
I'd say one of my favorites is Bob Marley.
Good choice. You can't go wrong with that. That's a crowd pleaser.
Thank you for picking the safe choice, Senator. We're counting on you to not screw up.
On your mixtape, what would be like your favorite 3 songs?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Aretha Franklin. Anything Aretha Franklin.
It says pick a song and you say anything. Aretha Franklin has 2 songs that everybody knows, Pink Cadillac and Respect. She couldn't even name one of those 2.
I would say Bob Marley, and then
again, not a song. You could have said No Woman No Cry. You could have said Buffalo Soldier. You could have said Zimbabwe. He has a lot of songs. I had 15 Marley CDs when I was a little kid.
I don't know. I love Cardi B.
Okay. As she says.
Oh, I'm supposed to recognize that thing. I'm supposed to recognize that weird sound effect you made.
Those are great. Thank you for playing along.
Thank you for playing so we can get on with putting something else terrible on the air. Yeah, that's what we have now in this presidential election. We have these clowns that are running a network. They get to broadcast into our homes if you own a TV. I personally don't own one. So if I want to watch any news, I can just go to the gym or not watch it at all, which is plenty fine with me. I can just look up YouTubers and people that pretty much bring the news that I feel is relevant to me. And I don't understand why CNN feels that it will endear these people to the country when it's plainly obvious that Kamala Harris is only obsessed with one thing: more power for Kamala Harris. And then you have people like Elizabeth Warren, who has to make some sort of play at being relatable to people. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer there. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I might watch it someday. I don't understand the obsession with it. But here she is with AOC talking a little bit about their little take on the end of that series.
So did you see Game of Thrones last
I
night?
did. I'm sad. I'm disappointed about it.
I was just really meh.
I feel like we were getting so close to having this ending with just women running the world.
Exactly.
And then
one
the
goes
last
crazy,
2 episodes,
right.
it's like, oh, they're too emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do
The
that.
end. It's like, oh, this was written by
So
men.
I was even willing at the end to make a quick allegiance shift when Danny went nuts.
Right, right.
So I was over to Sansa.
Yeah.
I was like Team
Yes.
Sansa. I will redo my shirts.
Totally.
The whole thing.
Totally.
And yet Sansa, who already is Queen of the North, thank you very much.
Right, right.
She walks away saying, and I'll still be Queen of the North.
I know. I was
Come on,
disappointed.
Sansa, go for the big ones.
I was disappointed. We need to get some feminist analysis up in HBO.
Yes, this is what they think will endear people to the country. two nitwits, one of whom has faked everything about her heritage and won't talk about it anymore because she took a DNA test that made her look even less credible than she was already. And the other person who decided to apparently become an agricultural expert this week, arguing about an imaginary TV show. I think this is actually a good thing because if they're arguing about imaginary things that don't actually affect the world, maybe they'll do less damage to the real people that live out here in our country. So you even have this current right now where people are just pissed off on the right and on the left with Democratic candidates going on Fox News, which I find personally is hilarious because Fox News sucks. And the Fox News sucks so bad, yet it is still destroying CNN and MSNBC because Fox News happens to have some commentators that have a real appeal to the country and haven't completely sold themselves out to the Russian deception, the Russian collusion deception, I should say. So Samantha Bee started to say, well, you look stupid going on Fox News to these Democratic candidates, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar and Kirsten Gillibrand. But here's the thing, Samantha Bee. What you forget is that the key to running a campaign and winning voters is to reach a lot of them. And if you're on networks like MSNBC and CNN that people aren't watching, you're not doing it as well as if you're on Fox News. So she is basically trying to, just tell people what networks to be on and what not. The fact is that Fox News does not reflect any sort of value system anymore, except for the corporate value system. And those people saying, "Oh, it's the hate network. It's the one that propagates the propaganda of the Republican Party." It's not been true for years and years. In fact, Fox News, I would say, is probably populated more by people who are corporate shills for both parties. So that's about it for today. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure to subscribe to me on Minds.com. I do, the interest I think isn't as much because people aren't used to using it. But if you are complaining right now about not getting notifications, and then quit complaining from now on, because if you go to Minds.com, subscribe to me there, you'll be able to see all the videos. They'll be posted there likely ahead of time, and then you can probably watch the premiere with me. And if later, you can also find it either on YouTube or on Minds. But that's about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe to me on BitChute at Chef Leopard. You can subscribe to me on Gab at Starscream85. If you want to contribute, you can find me on Subscribestar, Chef Leopard as well.